I'm being indicted for you. I am being indicted for you.
All right. And Trump pled not guilty to 4 federal charges in this latest indictment. The former president has already said he does not believe he can get a fair trial in D.C., who voted for Joe Biden by 95% in 2020. Think about that. The federal judge overseeing the case says she'll set a trial date later this month.
And also, breaking moments ago, law enforcement officials are locking down the Fulton County courthouse in downtown Atlanta. We know they were cordoning off the street right out front. Well, this is in addition to now they're closing roads around the courthouse and traffic to boost security in the area. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis could be wrapping up her probe soon. We knew it was possibly coming. Well, maybe it's imminent. I don't know. And a possible 4th indictment, of course, of Mr. Trump could be coming down, as I was talking about.
Strong indicator with the heightened security and, the preparations ahead of time. But we've got some great experts here with us today. So
absolutely. Joining us with legal insight and analysis is legal spokeswoman for Donald Trump, Alina Habba. It's great to see you. And also attorney to former President Trump, Binnall. Alina, let's start with you and the breaking news, as we were just talking about out of Fulton County. Before this news broke, you said you expect a 4th indictment out of Georgia to come, quote unquote, within weeks. But as we're talking about now, it looks like they're shutting down roads around the courthouse, the Fulton County courthouse. Are you hearing about any movement with this today, or even, this week in the next couple days?
Yeah, I think your question is, am I hearing anything directly, as most attorneys would have that kind of privilege and courtesy? No, we don't get courtesies from anybody, and we do not know anything more than the press does. Unfortunately, a lot of times I'm hearing things through the New York Times, through leaks from the DOJ and their PR team, which says it all, frankly. That's the current circumstance in our country, and it's disappointing. But no, we have no personal heads up. Why would we? They like to have their moment, and I'm sure the press will hear first.
Yeah, and Alina served also and has President Trump's attorney and now the spokesperson. But it's really true. You don't get any of the heads up or insight. People will ask you, and you have to respond back to a reporter because you'll get an idea something's coming, right, Alina? Because they'll call you and ask you a question, and that's sort of signaling because people are leaking, which is just ridiculous because you think they would give somebody like the former president a heads up to be able to structure this and be able to respond.
Right. That's exactly what we should be expecting. And, Kim, you're an attorney as well. You understand this. Usually there's just a common courtesy. You're about to go into a case together. You have courtesies, you give extensions, you discuss things together, but there's no camaraderie anymore because it's very politically motivated. So they take a hard line on the left and they don't discuss anything if you're on the right. And that's just not the way I operate as an attorney. But unfortunately, it is what we're seeing with how they treat President Trump.
Well, and you also have the sheriff in that county talking about treating Mr. Trump like anybody else, he said, including mugshotting him, which could be taken as he's just trying to get his name out there. Jesse, I want to bring you in on the conversation real quick. So John Lauro, Trump's attorney in the 3rd indictment, is welcoming the idea, he said, of former Vice President Mike Pence potentially testifying at any future trial related to the allegations of President Trump to overturn the 2020 election. Here's Laura on ABC's This Week, and then I want to get your response.
This is what's called a Swiss cheese indictment. It has so many holes that we're going to be identifying and litigating a number of motions that we're going to file on First Amendment grounds, on the fact that President Trump is immune as president from being prosecuted in this way.
So do you agree with that? I mean, would former Vice President Pence testifying be advantageous to Trump's case?
Oh, I think it most certainly would, especially when you take the former statements that he's made, both on the campaign trail in his book and other places, where he's been very, very clear that even for him, now a political opponent of President Trump, Donald Trump did nothing illegal. We've known this for this point 2.5 years. And while they may try to use this to harm Donald Trump politically, and I think that really is the point of these indictments, even yesterday, former Vice President Pence was, I think, quite clear that nothing that happened rose to the point of a criminal offense. And let's remember that these issues have already been litigated in a court of impeachment, and Donald Trump was cleared, but they are just bound and determined to keep going after him.
Alina, bringing you back in the conversation. So former President Trump posted on Truth Social today that special counsel Jack Smith is attempting to take away my First Amendment rights. And Smith adds that the DOJ are illegally, that he adds that the DOJ and Smith are illegally leaking materials to the media. This is former AG Bill Barr says it's not a First Amendment case. I want you to just real quick listen to this and get your response.
It's certainly a challenging case, but I don't think it runs afoul of the First Amendment. Well, from a prosecutor's standpoint, I think it's a legitimate case. But
from an attorney general's point of view.
But I think there are other considerations, and I would have taken those into account.
So really the crux of the case, correct me if I'm wrong, is Smith's allegation that President Trump knowingly, and you see that word a lot through the indictment, made false claims and tried to recruit fake electors and pressure Vice President Pence. Is that inaccurate? Do you disagree with that? I think we lost your audio, unfortunately. Yeah, I think we lost your audio, Alina. Are you on mute?
Jesse, you want to respond?
I will just say that I think it's very, very clear that Donald Trump in this case acted appropriately. We see that from the fact that he had a First Amendment right, a very, very clear First Amendment right to challenge an election. He had a First Amendment right to give a speech urging people to peacefully and patriotically make their voices heard. The conduct here is very much First Amendment speech, including not just the freedom of speech, but the freedom to petition your government for redress of grievances. When you think the government has done something wrong, you always have the petition to go to the government in this case and say, no, you should do something. You should do something different. That's something that wasn't only in the Constitution, it was in the Declaration of Independence. It's one of the reasons that we separated from Great Britain in the first place, is that that right to petition your government for redress of grievances, which is why this prosecution is so unprecedented.
It really is. And when you think about this, it's so un-American. You have to be able to, state your views, be able to defend yourself. This is just more, it seems, political harassment against the president with, multiple legal indictments and cases that he has to fight on a daily basis.
Yeah, now the potential fourth one. When was the last time you talked to him, by the way?
Just a couple days ago.
Ago?
Yeah, but he's doing very well. He's, obviously handling all of this, but he really does feel that this is just actually backfiring on all of them and on Biden, because he said, look, they don't want to face me in 2024, so they're trying to use this, politicization and lawfare against me to prevent me from, being on the ballot. But it's not going to stop whether or not he gets another indictment, whether or not Georgia comes in and breaks any minute. That's not going to matter. He's still going to run. He's still going to seek office.
Is he going to debate?
And he's up in the momentum. Right now, he's not going to. I know they want him to, but why would he go to that other network that is begging to have him on and help their ratings, right? And no, but he said, and he made a funny comment where he's like, oh, let me just see, depending, maybe I'll pick one of these people as my VP, which is already just like reverse body slamming.
I got so many other questions for you.
I know
we got to wrap up this segment. Jesse Binnall, Alina Habba, unfortunately, we lost her audio, but we appreciate you both and your insight.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having us.
You got it.